right, guys, I'm here with Toxic and Reezy from Magic Gaming. You guys, congrats on winning the Battle of Florida against the Heat. I saw there was a
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
NBA regular season opener for a couple of teams. Thank you all for tuning in. So happy you're here. I'm ecstatic that you're here. And I'm really happy that Kenny and Shaq are here too.
I miss you too, Ernie.
Thank you. Me too. Tonight, it'll be the Detroit Pistons. He's going up against the Brooklyn Nets. And for Brooklyn, their relentless preparation, the off-season, the practices, the preseason games, everything's led up to tonight. They'll be looking to make a statement in this first game. Here we are, opening night. Every club can have high aspirations. But Kenny, what's the key to growing throughout the year?
Oh, when you said club, I was thinking nightclub. Oh, what are you talking about?
Of course, you always
but, you know, you got to be willing to adjust. Honestly, be willing to adjust. Don't stick with the same plan just because you might think it worked. If it's not working, it's going to show you it's not working.
You know, it's a long road, so you can never get too high or get too low. And remember, just have fun along the way.
Kind of like we do here.
Yes.
Isn't this a blast?
Yes, it is.
Oh, do we have fun?
We do.
What's the most fun about this job for us?
Just looking at you every day.
Oh, man. You know, I feel the same way about Kenny. You feel that way looking at him?
No, when I look this way, it's this fun. Oh, there's no one there, but that's fun too.
We do have a good time. We were having a good time.
Fans are crazy loud tonight.
The tallest building in Michigan, the Renaissance Center. Part of the scenery tonight as we come to you live from Detroit. Welcome, everybody, to the day we've all been looking forward to. The start of a new NBA season on 2K Sports. Kevin Harlan here with Greg Anthony and a pair of Hall of Famers with us, Doris Burke and David Aldridge. We've got the Brooklyn Nets taking on the Detroit Pistons. Now let's send it down to David Aldridge, standing by from the sidelines. David?
Thanks very much. Well, unusual circumstances for AI. This opening night is just the second regular season game he's ever played. Now, AI said he's looking forward to being part of the process this time from the very beginning. And after what he had to deal with last year, that makes sense. Kevin?
Thank you for that, David. You think back to when AI made his debut at the end of last season. Just a whirlwind of time for him, guys.
You know, it must have felt like being dropped onto a moving treadmill. I mean, and being asked to keep pace. I mean, I'm sure AI will appreciate having a more typical start to his first full NBA season.
Both teams tonight, Doris, looking to take a measured approach to this game. What should we expect to see in these half-court sets?
Yeah, typically these two coaches want to make sure they're in control of what's transpiring in the half-court. So you'll see that point guard look over to the sideline, maybe get a play call from the head coach, and then try to execute it. But they're certainly seeking out the best matchups, and if that means changing sides of the floor, getting to the third and fourth options, that's exactly what these teams will do.
So the next. A minute 50 left in the first quarter. Napier with it. He kicks to Dinwiddie. To the middle, Davis. That one falls coming off Dinwiddie's feet. Davis has got his first basket of the night.
In tight windows, you have got to be confident and on point. Spencer Dinwiddie, really good job in the pick and roll.
Here's Smith. Uses the glass to finish the layup.
They've wasted no time settling into their offense.
Nets trail by 7. Here's Dinwiddie. And 1:01 left to play in the first quarter. And he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up. And there's the foul against Detroit.
One thing you have to love about Spencer Dinwiddie is his confidence. Here's a guy who knows he belongs, and he's proving it with his play night after night.
The first one falls.
Well, think about it, guys. Last year, Spencer Dinwiddie, a little bit of a breakout year, right? Stepped in for the injured D'Angelo Russell and helped the Nets stay competitive, proving to be a big-time scorer.
That's also good. So he hits both free throws. And Doris Dinwiddie's so good at finding a play to make, even when it seems he has nowhere to go.
Well, that quick first step opens up space to get into the passing lanes. This guy makes a lot of jump passes, but seems to get away with it.
And so Napier will bring it up for the Brooklyn Nets, trailing by 5. Here's Ilgauskas. Detroit with the rebound. This, of course, their first look at the Nets.
Yeah, and they took care of business against this group last year, winning the season series.
Here's Kennard. Lure up top. Lays it up and banks it in.
A nice move to create a gap there in the defense and get to the bucket.
Nets trail by 7. And there's the pass to Ilgauskas. Over Lure. And the Nets miss again.
Man, right play, wrong result on that one. Generally, you knock those down.
Yeah, that's a surprise in this, Greg. I have a feeling if they get that shot again, they'll knock it down next time.
The offense coming free and easy as we wrap up the first quarter. Pistons ahead, leading by 7. And the second quarter will be on the way when we come back. For those of you just tuning in, the second quarter of action is where we're at right now. Guys, what do you think so far from what we've seen from the Pistons?
Tough defense throughout that first period, and it's really paying dividends.
Well, I think there's a level of physicality with them right now and not allowing the opponent to feel comfortable getting into their heads just a bit.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. So for Brooklyn now, Davis is out there with AI. Then there's Harris, and it's Dinwiddie in at the guard position.
Well, I think you think of the Brooklyn Nets, and though there isn't a ton of wins, I do think you see this team moving in the right direction. Yes, they only had 28 wins, finished 12th overall, but the reality is, on a night-by-night basis, this team gives great effort in the face of adversity.
Here's Smith. Lure finds Pachulia. Out to Smith. 6 to shoot. Second chance shot. Here's Pachulia. It's deflected. Here's the break. And Harris wide open. He shoots. Good on the triple. Harris has got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. And now the first timeout called here for Detroit. Opening night of the regular season, blue sky for every team, Doris. Optimism is high. Players thinking about all the possibilities ahead.
No doubt. It's a time of tremendous optimism for both the teams and the fans of these teams. And the culmination of the work you put into the offseason, who's improved their skill level, who's added a dimension to their offensive game. We're all salivating for the start of this year.
And a different look here for the Pistons. Andre Drummond's checked in for Pachulia. Blake Griffin comes in for John Lure. Glenn Robinson, the third, is checked in for Luke Kennard. And Reggie Jackson subbed in for Ish Smith. Then for the Nets, Allen comes in for Ed Davis. And it's Russell in for Harris. Right side Robinson. The Pistons need to get off a shot here. Lets it go from deep. Allen with the rebound. Brooklyn trailing. Outside Russell. Pass to Karuch. Pass to Allen. He nails it, and we're tied up. Allen's got 6.
Exactly the kind of ball movement they're looking for.
For Detroit, they've gone an abysmal 0 of 6 from the field since the second quarter began. It's Drummond, high post. He's against Allen. Right side Robinson. Back to Drummond. Griffin against Ilgauskas. To end the cold streak. Passes it to Jackson. In the corner, it's Robinson. Goes back up. Ellington trying to free himself up. Robinson misses. The Nets have gone a nice 3 of 3 to start the second.
Think about this. In his first season away from the Lakers last year, D'Angelo Russell seemed to be a much more confident player. Looked like the number 2 overall pick we expected coming out in 2015.
Russell against Jackson. Kicks it to Griffin. In the corner, it's Robinson. Over Allen. The putback. Great positioning on the putback. Drummond's got it all tied up now for the Pistons.
And not afraid to say it. If Drummond isn't the best rebounder in the NBA, he's got to be in the top 3. That goes for both ends of the floor. Just no way to hold him in check on the board.
Now a timeout called by Brooklyn. And Russell missing a lot of time before the midway point last year with a knee injury.
Well, I think he...
And a close game so far through the first 2 quarters as we reach halftime. Pistons lead by 1. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much. Coach, it's early in the season, so what can you say about how things are going chemistry-wise so far?
I love our guys. We have a great group of young men that are competing hard, and it feels good because I know our guys are totally engaged and focused and giving us what they have.
Wayne, thanks a lot. Back to you.
Thank you, David, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball. And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been fairly even so far. Andre Drummond, BI, is checked in for Rondé Hollis Jefferson. Pistons leading by 5. The big men are Griffin and Drummond. Jackson is out there with Kennard, and it's Robinson in at the 3, the small forward. That's the group for Detroit right now. That shot off the mark.
Boy, he did everything right till he got to the rim. He needs to finish that.
Here's LeVert. That shot, no good. Now the Pistons take it the other way. Over a minute and a half into the third quarter of action. Jackson kicks to Griffin. Fires the three. Buries the long-range jumper. Griffin's got 7.
Really in a good position thanks to the accuracy from beyond.
And for Detroit, a lot of changes, Greg, in their front office this past offseason.
A new GM and Dwayne Casey brought in to coach. Could see a drastic shift in style and approach for the Pistons moving forward.
Outside Jackson. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
And Jackson certainly doesn't lack confidence. A speedy guard who can fill it up in no time. You know, and Reggie Jackson, a really solid first season and a half in Detroit. But the last 2 seasons, injuries have really held him back.
Detroit making a switch here. Ellington's checked in. Dinwiddie passes to Russell. To the middle. Here's Davis. The lead pass was put in just the right spot. Davis has got his second bucket. And Reggie Jackson in 2016-17 battling knee tendonitis. Last season, Greg, a severe right ankle sprain.
I mean, he's so important in terms of his impact for the Pistons. An athletic, physical player. When he's right, he can be a difference maker on both ends.
Here's Dinwiddie. Ellington defending. Here's Ilgauskas. Another one falls for Brooklyn. And just looking back at AI and how he started his NBA career, what a way to make an entrance into the league in a pressure-packed situation, Greg, like this.
Yeah, and a lot of players would have been overwhelmed, but AI was instrumental in getting the win and helping the team secure a playoff berth. What an incredible moment it was for him in an NBA debut.
And he gets the basket. Officials blowing the whistle, so a chance at the line for one more. For the Pistons, Pachulia. He's checked in for Andre Drummond. John Lure comes in for Luke Kennard. And it's Ish Smith in for Reggie Jackson. Harris is checked in for the Nets. Napier comes in for Russell.
And Blake Griffin said early in his career he used to rely on his athleticism to get by. He said the problem was every season he'd be worn out by February. So diversifying his offensive game has helped him to kind of withstand the rigors of a long NBA season.
That one's good, and the Piston lead is cut down now to just 6 points with that basket from Harris. Now here is Smith. T right on him. To the paint. Griffin inside. And he gets the whistle for the 3-second call. The Nets making a switch here. Hollis Jefferson's checked in. Nets trail by 6. Different look here for Detroit. Andre Drummond's checked in for John Lure. Luke Kennard comes in for Wayne Ellington. And Reggie Jackson subbed in for Ish Smith. And then for Brooklyn, AI is checked in for Rondé Hollis Jefferson. And Caruge is subbed in for Spencer Dinwiddie. Harris outside. The tray gets the three-pointer to fall. And Greg, you look at a lot of the volume dunkers over the years. Their bodies often wear down. You think of Amari Stoudemire, Antonio McDyess, even Dwight Howard.
Yeah, and I think Griffin could see the writing on the wall. He used to get over 200 dunks in a season. Now, less than half that number. But the trade-off, hopefully, will be longevity and an increased skill set.
Setting the floor for the Nets. AI is out there with Davis. Then there's Shabazz Napier. Then there's Harris. And it's Caruge in at the small forward. Jackson looking around. The pass to Griffin. Over in the corner, Pachulia. Nice ball movement by Detroit. Just 4 to shoot. Releases. That shot by Griffin, no good. Here's Karuch. Again, the Nets for two. Outside Jackson. And so it's the Pistons taking care of business here. Even early on in this one, it seemed like they were happy to be playing at home tonight.
And it makes a big difference. Once they started to really play in rhythm, you never felt like they had any doubts as to whether or not they were going to win.
That concludes the first game of the NBA season. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. So long.
Hey, AI. Interview request for you. Come on.
For me? I barely played.
They want to hear from you.
AI.
What's
Griff
up?
Bryant. Thanks for talking to me. Congrats on your debut.
Thank you.
Well, now, you didn't get a chance to contribute much, but I'm always interested in how new players feel with that first game in the books. What'd you think about tonight?
I mean, you know, it was a learning experience, that's for sure. There's a lot of great guys in this team, guys that have been great to give me advice, helpful and help me to get ready for whatever the NBA is going to throw at me. You know, it was an honor to even be a small part of that tonight.
After college, you spent some time in China and then the G League. The NBA must feel like a whole new world.
Yeah, I mean, sort of. You know, I'm still playing basketball, and I'm still part of the team, just like I was in Shanghai, you know, Fort Wayne. But my time in both those places taught me a lot about what it means to be a good teammate. And, you know, I just look forward to using that knowledge to help me get some W's.
That's refreshing to hear coming from a player that just finished his first game of the season. Listen, thanks again, AI, and congrats on the debut.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Griff. AI, you're good to go.
All right. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.